Hi, kids. How you doing?
What's up, kid?
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. I get to talk with both of you about this incredibly lovely film. Um, I'm
Well, that's
such
a first. No one's described as lovely yet, so I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
I'm a big fan of great horror, and from my youth, I used to hang with Forey Ackerman and those guys from Famous Monsters of Filmland.
Nice.
I have such a respect for the art that you do, Spider. Um, to me, it's not about doing better than the last one. It's just about performing more um deeply, I think, in the horror realm. Am I right in that assumption?
I mean, with each film, yeah, you try to tackle. I mean, look, I think for me, the it all starts with something that already has some sort of deep meaning in your life. And for Little Bites, for us, it was certainly being parents and all that entails. And so, you mentioned these all, history of horror. It's like that is the for me the real beauty about horror and science fiction is that the ability to represent real life
Mm.
conflict, trauma, whatever, but represent it through fantastic things like monsters or robots or ghosts or paranormal. And I think that's the most exciting way to tell stories. And so for us to be able to tackle this subject matter of the struggle of parenthood and protecting a child in this crazy world, but represent all those threats with this monster was like a really exciting challenge.
Krsy, it is about a mother protecting her child. Whatever else happens, it kind of boils down to that parental responsibility. How was it to put on her skin?
It was a heavy character. I've done a few interviews about this now, and it's the heaviest thing I've ever done, and I think I lost myself the most in this character. I spend a lot of time just, existing in this uncomfortable scenario, and you're being touched and bitten and sort of verbally abused as well. And the whole time I just kept my daughter in the back of my head and thinking about her and just how I would do anything for her. So of course I'm going to endure this. And it was a lot. It took me almost a month to like snap out of my funk when I was done shooting this. But it was also really rewarding because I felt like everything was very organic. All my reactions and I really enjoyed having different characters all the time. Like almost every day, we'd have somebody new on set that would interact with me, and I would get almost like have a natural like different reaction to. So it was really fun as an actor. You don't get to do that all the time, and I was in like every scene in this movie except for one, so it was a lot to take on. I basically cried all day for like what 12 days straight.
Yeah,
Super close.
we've been together for over 10 years. I've never seen her cry more than that 2 weeks of shooting.
Don't ever make her cry.
No.
I know that you're a musician, and does that run through your directing? Do you hear rhythms and cadences in the projects that you do?
Yeah, I mean, certainly when we get to the editing process, it is all about feel and timing, and I think that's the direct relationship to music is, but even sense. I mean, for me, making music is always about it's really instinct. It's not technique. It's not. I always say talent is overrated because it's not always about how many notes you can play. It's where you play them and how you play them. And I think filmmaking is the same thing. It really is like there's no to me, there's no rule book to where you place the camera, but an inch to the right or to the left can really change the feeling of that frame. So, yeah, for me, I think I definitely relate filmmaking to making music in terms of just that aesthetic and that instinctual thing that you have to have.
Yeah, Elton John once told me that it's not the notes, it's the spaces between the notes that make the music.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it is. It's look. Everything is a form of communication, and it's like you have to be able to communicate. It doesn't matter how much you know, how much knowledge you have about your technique. It's all about communicating an idea. And yes, sometimes it's what you're not doing is as important as what you are doing.
Krsy, wow, what a cast you have, and working with Barbara Crampton has got to be just manna from heaven.
I yeah, I mean, so I've been lucky enough to be a, I'm very close friends with Barbara Crampton and Bonnie Aarons and now Heather, and I'm part of this women in horror actress group, and we all spend a lot of time together. Barbara kind of really initiated making sure all these women come together. And so, yeah, it was interesting when this movie came about. And I was like, I think Barbara would be really good for this character. And Spider agreed. I was like, I never see her play characters like this. And the one thing I was nervous about was, oh, I have to really hate Barbara. And if you know Barbara at all, she's a really hard person to hate. So that was something I was afraid of. But, luckily I was already living in this character, so she made it easy. She's so, she has so much experience, and that was the same with, my scenes with Heather. It was just sort of a very natural, honest conversation that we fell into. And I just, I remember thinking while I was shooting with her, like, I totally understand why this woman is such a star. She has such a quality and such a level of experience. So yeah, I feel really lucky. I mean, I always wanted to do a film where I'm surrounded by all these amazing horror icons that are women, and, getting to do that in this film where everyone's sort of playing characters you don't expect. You don't expect the nun to be playing someone's mother. You know what I mean? And so, and that was sort of a dream for Bonnie and I, because we became close, where that, I was like, one day you have to play my mother in something, and we made that happen. So that was really cool.
That's so nice. Listen, on my time is all up. I
Already? Wow, that was
we'll
fast.
have to get together on some kind of other format and do a longer interview.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah.
Would love that. Thank you
Anytime.
so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.